Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel. Welcome to today's stream. We're gonna be starting a bit later than we expected originally, as well, traffic doesn't choose. And, well, of course, that resulted into a bit of a delay with the first match of today. That is going to be 2K for Jesus versus Gladiator as Mythology. Apparently the game is refusing to me switching into Observer. Ah, well, there we go. So it's gonna be apparently fine in the end, and the first map is going to be Mediterranean. That's gonna be home map for 2K for Jesus, and this is actually a reasonably important match for the whole division number 1 or 2, 1. Still not entirely familiar with the distribution of so many clans in there, especially those B and A teams or whatever like that. But this is division number 1. As JSS so far, they have taken the first match as the victory, and well, GDMs though, they have shown really good skill in the previous 2 rounds. They haven't taken a game from them, but yeah, well, that was because they were playing against quite solid clans, the top clans in the division, and right now that's gonna be the last top clan for them. Let's see if maybe this time there's gonna be a way to maybe find some kind of option how to get a game out of the opponents. But there we go, we're gonna be starting civilizations. Faraon, Juanito, Platinum, Hades, Oranos and Gaia, interesting in there. And for the opponents, gonna be Chef, with Count from Count and MiracleMan as Zeus, Hades and Gaia as well. So Gaia is definitely quite popular on water, as overall Mediterranean is also kind of popular, map overall. I also kind of forgot to potentially let everybody know what's going on here right about now with Age of Mythology on Woobly and in RTS League. And we're gonna be right about now watching what's actually going to happen with the dogs, for example, and how the players are gonna be approaching the Gaia bonuses. So Count von Khan, who's gonna be starting on the left flank, who's gonna be playing against Juanito in there, is gonna be getting the first 3s. Now, so apparently Gaia is gonna be in the pocket. And it's quite a nice spawn position for them. For the opponents, the guy is gonna be on the flank in there, but he's also gonna be giving the extra starting wood to his teammate, because that is like always, the better choice. Because the early economy for the Atlanteans, it's really overpowered and overtuned rather. And therefore, they don't need even that extra bonus. And if you're gonna be giving it to your ally, especially on water map, then you're gonna be having quite a nice start to your water economy. All the way here to the bottom, there's gonna be of course MiracleMan. He already does have quite an interesting position in the middle of the island, pretty much. Not island, like the shoreline in here. Which is going to be resulting into quite a solid position for both of the fishy 3-sums. Second dog probably gonna be coming like about there, maybe a bit more to the bottom. Still gonna be depending on the players where they are going to be having the extra fishies. As to the back, there's gonna be a bit of gold and a relic for actually crush vulnerability resulting, or rather, there is, how is it set? Reduction in here for buildings. Figure out the word in there. Holy damn. And cheaper siege weapons, that's gonna be definitely quite nice. All the way to the bottom here, another relic, and yet another one, third one. For better building hit points, it's gonna be always quite helpful. And all the way to the top, that's gonna be relic number about like 4 or whatnot. For infantry hack vulnerability decrease, that's definitely nice as well. Like half an upgrade in the armory, and with unit crush vulnerability, which is not entirely all that great. So that's gonna be, of course, only like resistance against potentially siege weapons and maybe some kind of other mythical units, but they usually don't use crush damage against other mythical units, so usually only against buildings, so kinda who knows. So who knows indeed, but it could be, I'm kinda thinking, maybe helpful against Nidog, because he also does have a portion of damage that is actually against buildings, so the crush one, so maybe, who knows. But Gaia Forest number 2 by xPlatinum has already been cast as well, as right about now gonna be probably for him. He has already given to the yellow, or rather to the red player, the last player, the Oranos. Kinda will be waiting probably for the last one, but yet again, he's an Oranos, so he doesn't really need that all that much. As we're gonna be right now checking at 2.40. Therefore, we should be expecting the plus already going down, and the advances for about 430, 440 to be already becoming a reality. Yeah, probably doesn't need to be doing all that much of micro in here for Advanced Citizen, losing a bit of hit points in there. But otherwise, let's kind of check if there's maybe some kind of problems with Fishy. So far, it doesn't seem so for Platinum. In the pocket for Faraon, he is definitely going to be waiting for second knockabout here. seems to be exactly prepared for that kind of start and build up. And there's already another threesome all the way to the top, which could be also taken by Teal if he actually is going to be producing dog there. Well, it's going to be up to the players to be deciding that properly. What is definitely true, as we are right now going to be looking at Juanito, the last player from Gladiator as Del Mythology. There is going to be a TC in water range. Apparently it's going to be for every player. So the front TCs are in range. Yep, absolutely certainly, which is of course going to be making the water a whole lot more important as far as winning it for later game. So there's potentially a way how to, well, maybe even crawl back. Or maybe just if you're gonna be kind of like winning water or having trouble on the land, then there is gonna be certainly a way for you to be going around it. In the meantime, Zeus is gonna be as chef advancing through Athena already. There's gonna be Oceanus all the way to the bottom. On the left side, it's gonna be secondary Athena. So 2 Athenas for the team on the right flank, whereas on the left side, it's gonna be Prometheus. 30%, kind of like later advance by like 440, 435 or whatnot. Few seconds in there. Apparently though, they're going for something a bit different. They're going for Ares, they're not going for restoration in here. Ocean is all the way to the top, so definitely looking forward where they're gonna be casting it. So far they seem to be just waiting here. So apparently Count from the Count is gonna be receiving the full brunt of that pestilence. You can see he's not building anything on the right side, so there's gonna be definitely a bit of a problem. Unfortunately the timing. No, well, you can still manage it. Oh, come on, where are you going? What did they decide to do? That was an excellent timing. That would be absolutely glorious. Completely stopping Count from Count for next 40 seconds. No, well, he didn't manage it. You can see, I don't really understand why Juanito was moving away. That was probably some kind of miscommunication. Faraon just at the very end was going in. He blocked at least the second boat on the right side, but still, the first one also shouldn't have come out. So that was just like about 2 seconds too late, but yeah, well. Anyway, that's still gonna be quite solid, and therefore resulting into quite a solid battle, as we are gonna be expecting the 3 MS from Faraon. The Hades in the pocket are gonna be also coming to the bottom, and that seems to be exactly the case. As yeah, well, even the Servant is gonna be having a bit of a outing for the battle, and into the battle as MiracleMan together with his teammate Count when he's gonna be actually able to get at least something in there shooting. He's gonna be having a bit of a trouble, at least for the time being. All the way to the top, right about now, xPlatinum is fighting against Chef. That should be, at the start, maybe a bit of a problem for xPlatinum, but as time goes, it should be getting a whole lot better for Chef. He's gonna be having the restoration and obviously quite a lot stronger boats on top of everything in there. So that's gonna be helpful quite as well. As otherwise, we are so far not looking at anything all that out of the ordinary on the land. Just a bit of a scouting and whatnot as Odysseus is going maybe for a bit of a raiding. Here and there on the Oracle. Maybe onto Caladria, could be also maybe dying in there. So all the way to the left side, this is just going to be a bit of a scouting by a MiracleMan for a bit later, and Count von Count already going to be parking the Kataskopos for Underworld Passage a bit later in the game. Into the middle, we are gonna be right now looking as Count von Count has been finally let out of his prison. When Chokev is gonna be already coming forward, the boat literally disappear into the depths in there for yellow. Yes, of course, Carnivore is gonna be quite helpful, and with Count for Count right about now using even restoration, this might be quite a good opportunity for them to be getting out of defensive and maybe even straight into the attack. So on the cast for us was, I'm thinking, cast somewhere to the top side, it seems like, yeah, that is growing for xPlatinum. So he didn't give through Oranos? No, he did not. He did not, thinking that since he's Atlantean, he's not gonna be really needing it all that much. So right now, Carnivore is gonna be coming forward, killing one of those boats, at least the second one getting destroyed. And of course, xPlatinum's fleet, and he seems to be having quite solid numbers so far. As Chef, right about now with the shooting dog, is having one of the better positions here. Problem is, he was trying to kite there, unfortunately blocking himself, and therefore he will have to be falling back a bit more. And unfortunately, the second dog, he went for the economical efficiency, therefore 0 tactical advantage for him in the defense, and therefore it's gonna be probably just the water under, no, like the keels and whatever, not entirely even the mill here, for xPlatinum, giving him a whole lot more of an advantage here. As the opponent doesn't have any kind of defensive position that would be really worthwhile. But definitely doesn't need to be falling for all the kiting. It was well done by Chef, as he's right about now gonna be recognizing that he needs the second dog in there to be shooting as well. Because only one is kinda like not enough. It's usually not much of a repellent because it's like slightly, ever so slightly weaker than one boat. But still, only like one boat. If you're having 2 dogs, then it's suddenly something quite a bit different. Because of course the boats are gonna be there all the time, you cannot even destroy them. As all the way here into the left side, this is gonna be MiracleMan, with Count having kinda solid battle against Juanito and Faraon. can see Faraon having a bit of a struggle with keeping up with the numbers, it seems to me. As apparently he even cast all the way to the top all the sentinels. He got actually all of them. This was a bit tricky one, the one to the top. Almost didn't spawn, but you also need to be switching to the land, because Count is already going for the second TC, and they are recognizing that the water battle here, on the left side at least, and like to the bottom side of the water, is not going all that badly for 2K4Jesus. And they're gonna be, of course, right now casting the second restoration. Very well done. The chef is not gonna be casting it on his 1v1, as in multiple versus multiple, it's always better. And therefore, as I usually say in Mediterranean, you want to be forcing big battles if you are having restoration on your team, because the bigger battle, the better advantage for you, obviously. Be 2v2 or even a 3v3, and this is definitely heading into, yeah, pretty much a victory, it seems to me, at least for the time being. At the bottom, whereas to the top, it is xPlatinum really having quite a good game against Chef, but Chef, right about now, the second dog, seems to be able to at least hold him at bay, and pretty much at this point wait for his allies to be kind of like making their way through the enemy and join into the fun as well. Yep, right, proper defensive, rather offensive, Carnivora into the defensive position of Chef. That's exactly how you want to use them. Basically, force the opponent from a position where you don't want him, and from where he might not want even to be escaping from. So very well done, but this is not entirely that great position right about now for xPlatinum, and he certainly needs to be sure that he can be supplying more boats, but the problem is, even though he might be right about now winning against Chef, it's probably not gonna be mattering too much. He's already preparing into the middle for Military Academy and Archer Range times 2, it seems to me. Gonna be fit in his economy rather well. Second TC being captured by both Chef and MiracleMan, whereas the opponents, they are not doing anything like that yet. But what is also definitely true is that you need to be checking upgrades, channels for MiracleMan, because it almost seems to me, looking at the basic comeback and the resurgence on the water for Faraon and Juanito, that Count for Count and MiracleMan don't want to be fighting for the water all that much anymore. They are kind of thinking that maybe it is done, or maybe they wrongly thought that it is done. Right about now we are still about 10 minutes, so it is still worthwhile to be fighting for it. Especially considering the TCs right next to the water. It's gonna be a straight 30 TC for Chef, holy damn. Going for quite a heavy echo in there. Only for a second TC right now for Faraon from GDMs. And yeah, this is certainly JSS home map. And we're gonna be then waiting for the second one. What Gladiadores del Mythology are gonna be choosing? I'm thinking it's gonna be really quite dependent on how this one goes. They probably wouldn't be all that disappointed taking the game if they actually won it. And taking Mediterranean again, but otherwise, they are just gonna be quite fine playing even a land map as anybody would be. Anyway, and in any kind of match. Overall, the TCs are apparently gonna be right now the reality, as Chef is gonna not continue with the water anymore, but no, kinda halfway, maybe just kinda forgotten auto-queue here. No, he kinda deposited this boat, so it's not a mistake. So it's maybe just kind of a bit of a pretense in here. As on the water, we are going to be looking at kind of tough battle. Seems like MiracleMan, Count for Count are gonna be at least able to stem the tide. So xPlatinum is finally making his way all the way to the bottom. But to the top side, we also need to be checking how xPlatinum is gonna be having a TC denied to him quite significantly, as Chef, with quite plenty of army already prepared. He's gonna be facing a bit of an army from the Gaia as well, as he's very well prepared as well himself, with counter barracks and military barracks, and of course the water economy. That should be allowing him some kind of good timing for the heroic age. You can see 500 here, 250. Doesn't seem all that bad at all. So the third TCs, they are kind of captured all across the place. You can see there was an attempt for a front one by Juanito. Unfortunately for him, he has been denied by a bit of an army already coming forward from Count. A few archers, so what is his build up? Well, he's a Hades, obviously archers and horses, 1-on-1. Finishing with the gold. He's gonna be getting still plenty of gold mines in the middle, but he needs to be making sure that this is gonna be his, and apparently this is going to be MiracleMan at least slightly helping him in there on that front, and therefore a bit of a forcing a bit of a double, which is kind of interesting all things considered. But okay, what he's gonna be ready for. Yeah, right now watching as Count, looking at the minimap, is taking the front DC in there finally, as the battle is still raging quite a bit, and it seems kind of equalish. Maybe ever so slight advantage for JSS, but not entirely anything all that huge. Not really anything all that huge, all that much in there. As we are having a bit of a problem, apparently, with For some reason, with the connection, I'm gonna be having to look into that, it seems. No, let's see. Hopefully it's gonna be working on the second attempt. Hopefully it will. But we are on a 2-minute delay, which is making this quite complicated, all of it. Hopefully it's gonna be working. Just gonna be right now typing into the chat. Hopefully it's gonna be working fine, as well we are fighting on the water and this battle is definitely proving to be quite engaging so far. As all the way to the top, you're gonna be right now watching as Chef is having quite a solid build-up. Problem is that if they happen to be losing the water, which so far is luckily for them not the case, you might be having a bit of a trouble with all of this. As all the way to the top, this is going to be the settlement already attempted to be finished by Platinum, because he's just basically using the army that he already has to push it all as much as possible for him. So we are gonna be right now, of course, gonna check in what he's gonna be doing with it. He seems to be trying to avoid the opponent, but he might not want to ignore him all that much. Just needs to be right now having at least a bit of an army, as Faraon is gonna be joining him exactly as we have seen a bit before, but PC, no. Still don't want to call it yet. The army is there, but those cannibals, they should be really kind of good enough. Good enough for all of that. So all the way to the bottom, we are gonna be watching what's going to be happening from right about now. No, she's looking quite solid at this point, especially since Yellow has been able to make something happen around here with the front TC of his opponent of Juanito. He's basically gonna be stuck at only 2. We need to be gonna check in when the heroic cages are gonna be finally coming in some good numbers. So it's gonna be very first one at about 15 minutes. For MiracleMan, as they are still fighting quite a long time. Quite a long time on the water, but at this point seems to be pretty much a victory. But we need to be switching into the position of Chef, who has kind of finished with the wood line. Even you can see it shows the Gaia trees there already in. And that's going to be resulting into at least a bit of a loss of economy. But it shouldn't be anything all that major, considering that he already advanced and moved into the second and third DC quite a bit earlier. So the losses should be gonna be kind of annoying. But certainly nothing that should be losing the game altogether. As in the middle, he's right now already pushing forward. Problem is that he doesn't really have hoplites, and those Kirobalistae are completely destroying him all around. And right now seeing that the stream is on, hopefully it's gonna be lasting that way. So far it seems to be holding, so fingers crossed it's gonna be continuing. So sorry about that drop in there. Hopefully Twitch is not having any kind of issues today. Yeah, well, Sunday is the most busy day. So sometimes it happens, but this is resulting into about like maybe 7-8 villages already dead. So that's not entirely that awesome for Chef, but as we said just a bit before, doesn't have to be the end of the world for him yet. As Faraon is getting a third TC in there and also establishing himself on the left side completely and all together. But Count Fogan is gonna be getting the front TC already. That's of course gonna be stealing from Juanito, as even a palace is coming forward right about now by MiracleMan, who is gonna be ready with his teammate, but problem is that he was just a bit too hasty, and this citizen is probably gonna be dying, as she is unfortunately running herself into quite a solid trap. Yep, she's not gonna be escaping from this. But maybe a few units are not gonna be escaping either. And it seems to be kind of working alright at this point for the whole team. As all the way to the top side, there's gonna be continued trading, and Chef is really losing at this point a bit more villages than would be even comfortable, even through the booming that we have said a bit before. I rather talked about a bit before. This is getting a bit more dangerous than it should have been. As xPlatinum has lost the TC though in the middle, and that is right about now because of a few more hoplites finally, and even the Kirobalistae couldn't stop them altogether, as there's gonna be a bit of assistance of boats from bottom by MiracleMan. You can see even a dead villager here from the yellow, not from the yellow, from the teal player, and this is looking definitely and decidedly like Chef taking the next TC fairly quickly, only just gonna be looking for the villagers, as they seem to be exactly heading forward already, with a bit of a help from MiracleMan, who might even be heading forward towards it himself. As but still probably gonna have to wait for a bit of a lush, I'm thinking. It might be still lush in effect. Looking at all of this on the ground, let's see about that. So all the way to the backside, there is still a bit of army. Completely not a slaughter of villages in there for Chef, But to be honest, I don't exactly think it's gonna be mattering that entirely much, as Count for God with 4 TCs is very well prepared, and you can see the gods. Artemis already for him, Hecate for MiracleMan, Artemis for the other side as well though, with Thea. But yeah, well, this Artemis, it's gonna be probably level in this base. Seems to me, that's gonna be a solid idea for him. And combined with the Hecate somewhere to the back. Maybe about like here, considering this team fully embered. It almost seems like it's gonna be the case. Oh. No, maybe Zerin somewhere like for the red player, who knows. But the Earthquake is here, and apparently they're gonna be using it this way, as they are confident at the bottom. They're gonna be having quite a good game, and they are also destroying one of the military buildings here for red. So looking how MiracleMan with Chef are already pushing forward and quite strongly. It seems to me, as the Tartarian Gate by MiracleMan is cast somewhere into the middle. This is a good position. This is a good position because it's gonna be assaulting 2 TCs. Bit of an economy right about now for xPlatinum. As from the water there are still a few units, and Underworld Passage is already in by Faraon. But thing is, yeah, well, he's probably gonna be under attack fairly quickly here to the bottom as well. But in the meantime, it can be at least slightly helping them. But with the opponents having actually 2 Underworld Passages themselves. No, right about now only one. Where is that Underworld Passage of theirs? There it is. That's going to be the aggressive one. And it of course is going to be quite water under the middle for JSS for a sole reason that they don't have the defensive Underworld Passage anymore. And this is going to be quite fine to be handled of course by MiracleMan and Chef. They are here in full, but right now the Underworld or the Earthquake is a bit annoying. A bit annoying as the buildings are falling all across. Thing is, that all the way here to the backside, Juanito will be having quite solid trouble actually defending against that, as his army is away. He had to be moving back, and he's gonna be just about now arriving into the battlefield, but it's gonna be way too late, for the villagers are already here, and they are gonna be aiming to steal at least part of the enemy economy, and of course the town center on top of everything. So, we are gonna be right now watching what's going to be happening here. Nothing all that much, as xPlatinum has lost a TC to the top side to all the spawns already. And the second one, of course, is gonna be falling quite quickly as well. You can see they are doing about 25 damage in there. That's quite solid, about 26 or whatever, like that. So, good position, exactly as we have said from a bit before. And of course, this is gonna be just waiting for the upgrades to be slightly coming up. You can see MiracleMan, nothing in the line, but bronze, copper, and iron already on the normal upgrades. It's kinda interesting. And as for the ally chef, absolutely no upgrades so far, as he did, well, he didn't advance yet. He's gonna be right now coming for the Masons. Apparently seems to be quite content in the Heroic Age. Doesn't want to be even advancing anywhere all that much. You can see he's kinda strained. So they are putting everything behind this. They are missing in the upgrade, so they definitely have to be hoping that it's the same for the opponents. You can see Enyo Bows of Fire in there, or the Enyo Bows of Horror, not Fire. And it's gonna be already resulting into the victory. As to the top side, there's not much of a chance. The GDMs will be pushing through. Whereas, all the way to the bottom, this Underworld Passage is a complete game changer. And you can see at Count von Count with already 5 TCs. A whole copper line in there is gonna be completely destroying them with heavy hoplites on top of everything. So very well played. Good tactical play overall by... Oh well, that's a bit of a wasted population limit in here. That's actually 5 pop limit, that's a lot. Maybe, probably kinda just forgot, I guess in. Maybe just forgot, unfortunate to the max. But in the end... that was a good water battle. On the water, it was definitely quite tight for a whole lot of it. And pretty much like most of it, but then the first transition into the land, yet again, is going to be decided in this Mediterranean, and that's usually really what happens. It's not as much about who wins the water, but who most competently transforms into the land. And this time, that was 2K for Jesus, and they have won their home map. They're gonna be waiting for GDMs to choose their home map. You can see quite close on the score, Count and MiracleMan. Following through and through, like the whole game they were playing together on the water, on the land. So no wonder that their fates are going to be so closely tied. Yeah, good echo by MiracleMan as the Gaia. He got the upgrades really quickly in there, which of course helped him quite immensely, even against, for example, the Greek economy. And he has xPlatinum in there all the way to the top. Couldn't exactly match that. Probably didn't get all that many upgrades there quickly enough. Let's kind of check on that. Yeah, Hand Axe, Plow, and Shaft Mine. His opponent is probably gonna be filled. Yeah. Carpenters, Channels, Flat Control, and Quarry already. Good military count for Juanito. Unfortunately, he was facing for a long time pretty much a double in there. Oh, that's why the battle wasn't going that greatly for him. Slightly positive ratio for JSS, but nothing all that much. Yeah, the upkeys, exactly as we have seen. Very good echo for counter MiracleMan, and they definitely made good use of it. And only Chef was the only player whose most common unit was something different than a boat. You can see quite nicely done at this point. The booming, especially by Count, who was the first one to get the second TC. And then Chev with the second and third on top of it. You can see the steep curve catching up with Count really quickly. And even though Faraon was doing quite a nice job, just couldn't catch up quickly enough in there. Whereas the Atlanteans, they were fairly similar. It's a bit of a problem for Juanito, it's probably because of the water. But otherwise, quite alright. And Chef definitely struggling against xPlatinum. In 1v1, xPlatinum would have been having quite a good shot on actually defeating Chef. That was very well done in there on the water. But on the other side, Count even threw the Pestilence at the very start, which was really well done. Almost perfect, but still very well done. MiracleMan's play on the water there, that was quite something. Okay, GG.